All right, happy Monday, January 22nd, and welcome back to Real Talk. I am your host, Ryan Matthews, with Jeffrey Klein here. We are doing your Market Monday recap. And let's see, we are just over 3 weeks into the year, and we've kind of reached a new normal.
Yeah, we have. It just feels like things are finally starting to fall into place to have a more normal market. I think last year every Monday was a little different. Like the email we read this morning, just a little different. And this year feels like there's progress, right? Maybe slow, but it feels like a normal market that's progressing in a direction of certainty.
Agreed. Yeah, there's not this rates are going crazy every day. Like you're getting email updates from people that, oh my gosh, the rates changed, or the rates went down or went up. It
Hmm.
just feels more very even keel and something that we can rely on.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, and I think we saw that in open house this weekend. Just anecdotally, we met a number of clients that had bought just in 2021, and they
Yeah,
were out searching now. And I mean, this is a specific client, but multiple people said, we want to be ahead of the market. They
yeah,
see, like, I think a lot of the buyer sentiment is, it's gonna heat up, and some people who in 2021 they missed out on a number of different offers, and now they want to be ahead to be able to get the home that they want without it being super competitive.
yeah. And those people need to sell too, which will be kind of interesting. Um, but yeah, it was really interesting to hear a consumer kind of talk about we see what's coming, we want to be ahead
Right.
of it. And there's other people too that were just saying that. We had people from out of state, Washington
Yep.
area, that were saying that they think Phoenix is a really great market long term. And they were looking to be over here too versus Seattle because it's more competitive. I mean, you talked to that guy more than I did, but um,
Yeah.
it just seems like the consumer is more aware of what's going on than maybe they were last year, or maybe they were not as receptive last year. I don't know. It just feels different. The fact that the consumer recognizes what's happening, it just feels different to me.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people have been watching it, and just in general, I think it's the calming of how much volatility there was with the rates
Yeah.
throughout the year. It was like up, down, up, down, up, down. But now it's been this steady decline in rates.
Hmm.
And I think obviously, like, get past the holiday kind of lull, and everybody is much more willing to and ready to say, hey, you know what? I think we're going to dip our toes or both feet or just jump straight into the pool right now. Because a lot of the people we've seen at open houses are actively buying right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would also say is that, you know, over the next 3 to 6 weeks, I think we're going to see, or the first 3 to 6 weeks of the year, we're going to see increase in inventory. We're already, third weekend.
Mhm.
And so I think we're going to still see some inventory rises, but I think this is it, right? And we talk about a balanced market tends to be closer to like 24,000 active listings, between 21, 24.
Right.
Um, and we're sitting kind of low relative to that. And
Yeah.
so as interest rates kind of come down, again, I'm not saying it's going to be 2021 again, but what I am saying is I do think that we're going to have some increased activity. And right now you might have options, but in a couple months you probably won't.
Right. Yeah, and we've even seen clients where, I mean, there was a house that we were looking at. It went on live yesterday. It's under contract now.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
we're in certain pockets and price points, the homes just aren't staying. Like they're going
Yeah.
under contract immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And this isn't a cheap home either. It's a $2.3 million, home in a really nice community in the East
exactly.
Valley. And and like you talked to that agent today, right? The market over
Hmm.
there is just different.
It's
Um,
booming.
and I would say the same thing for well-priced homes in Scottsdale. I would say the same for well-priced homes in Arcadia area. I feel like there's nothing out right now.
Right.
And so if you have a unique home that's good looking in a hot area, it's gonna sell.
Right. I think that's probably in almost most pockets in around the valley. It's going to
Yeah,
have, if you are priced appropriately and your home is well done, like absolutely, it's going to move.
yeah,
And I mean, even with um, off-market fixers, like
yeah,
if it's priced right, we contracted a wholesale this weekend, and that did not last very long. It was something where even flippers are buying and looking to make deals and get the market moving again.
yeah. We don't do we do some wholesale stuff, but I've talked to two or three other guys that I know that do a lot of wholesale in the last week, and most of them are saying the same thing. It's like we recognize where the market is headed. We want to be ahead of it. Even new home builders are building at a faster rate than they have been for a while for the same reason. They recognize that there's an uptick in activity and that they want to be ahead of the curve, and have inventory for when things start to get hot again.
Right.
And same thing, when you start talking to investors and flippers, they're buying not for right now's market, they're buying for what they project to be in 3 to 4 months market, right? And
Exactly.
so if they're getting really, really active right now, it's because they anticipate that we're going to see an increase in activity in the next 4 months, which I would agree.
Exactly. All signs point to that, and I think it's much more than just anecdotally. I think all the pieces are moving that way. And then
Mhm.
again, just we're about 6 weeks away from the Fed's meeting where they actually can discuss a rate cut. And I think if there is a rate cut, we're going to see a big difference.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
Agreed. Yeah. And then talk me through some of these. You had posted some stats from Twitter. Do you have them in front of you?
Yes, let me pull them up because I really
Okay.
liked them.
Right.
Um, so much so
So
that I decided to screenshot and post them. So,
yeah. Now we'll go quick through. So existing home sales have experienced sharp contractions 3 times in the last 55 years, and all were
yeah,
similar in magnitude.
yes. Um, so this chart, and we'll see if we can figure out a way to post it. But
Mhm.
between 1968 and 2023, we saw a decline in 1982. In 2006, obviously the great financial crisis, and then again in 2022, right? That's what it says here.
Right.
Or I guess
Yeah.
2023. Um, Most people that would equate 2009 to being the same as what just happened. That's not true. And I would say that in 1982, when we saw that decline, or I guess it says the early 70s, right? We saw interest rates go up by 2.5% ish, right? And that created a giant deficit in the volume of home sales, right? But it's about on par or a little bit less than what we just saw with a 5% rate increase when we went from 2.5 to 7.5 or 8%, right? From 3 to 8. Um, we saw about the same decline, actually a little bit less, in volume. And so it's really interesting just to see that it's happened before, but it's very different. And I would say that those 3 times, right, the late 80s or early 80s, 2009, and right now are very different, all caused for different reasons.
Yeah.
And so I do think it's really interesting. And then that's kind of where I pulled the fact about home builders that are building more was from right
Hmm.
there too. They're starting
Yeah.
to build at a higher rate too. So
Yeah. So you're saying that back in it was 82, there was a 2.5% interest rate increase,
yes,
and there was a much shallower decline
much
in
deeper decline,
a much deeper decline. Okay.
in homes, number of homes, like the volume of homes sold,
Okay.
versus we just saw a 5% increase over the last couple years, right?
Right.
And that created a much shallower drop in volume, home sale
Okay.
volume.
Okay. So that
Um,
means that yeah. So right. So that's like in talking to me like I'm five. That just means that the demand is that much stronger, and it's going to come back that much faster. Is that what we
it's
can
not
kind of infer from that?
It's not even demand, dude. It's supply. And we're talking national, right? We're talking macro here.
Yeah.
But supply on a national level is ridiculously low, and I would
Right.
say even locally, right? Again, we talk about 24,000 being a balanced market. Again, assuming interest rates are normal, we hit a balanced market earlier, I guess last year, and then we were technically kind of coming out of a balanced market right now. But a lot of that is because interest rates are so high that demand is zero. It's not the inventory side of the scale that's tipping
Mm,
it into a buyer's market. It's the demand issue. So I think that as demand starts to pick up, our already weak inventory is going to make the market rise faster. And
got
so
it.
again, I think it's an inventory issue, not necessarily just demand. Demand is
Okay.
what slowed things down. Inventory is what the lack of inventory is what will make things
Right.
speed up.
Exactly. Yeah, because you're going to have this demand that never really went away, but people just step back with the rates being so high. But those
Exactly.
people still want and need homes,
Yeah.
and we still don't have the increase in homes for everybody. So that's where
Yeah.
we expect, as long as nothing crazy happens,
Yeah.
everything it points in that direction that we're going to still have all those people looking for homes, but there's just not the supply. And that's going to
Exactly.
lead to prices to go back up and this more competitive market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think
Okay.
it's everywhere too. We have people in our office doing open houses. We did one for 1 point. I guess it was 1195 on Sunday. right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was pretty busy. We have people
Yep.
doing $3 and $4 and $5 million open houses or $9 million open houses in our office that are getting ridiculous amounts of traffic, and they're picking up buyers. They're picking up active buyers who need to go out and buy at that price point.
Right.
That's wild to me.
Yeah.
And so it's at all price points, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's coming. I think the markets, and I think that there are some markets already that are there, right?
Agreed.
And so at certain price points, but yeah, it's here, man. This is the new
Yeah.
normal, and we keep just
Agreed.
trudging along. You know, is all you can do.
Exactly. And we'll keep kind of analyzing it each week, see what we've got and see what kind of new things jump into the hopper here, as they say.
Yeah,
And we'll be back next Monday with another update.
cool. Thanks, guys.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Yep. See you.